we're really excited to add 5 young men to our football team today that signed with us, and all 5 of them will be here and be able to start school in the spring semester. So we'll have the opportunity to have them here in our off season, also in spring training. So we're able to sign 3 defensive backs, which we think that is certainly an area of need and of concern moving forward. J.J. Dallas is a corner that we really like a lot, that we've been recruiting for a long time. Colin Turner from Cisco is a safety that we think he has some flexibility, can do a lot of things. And then Roy Williams from Yazoo City and played at Copi Lincoln is a taller, bigger Ranger safety that we think fits our free safety mode of what we would like to see, and so we're happy to get him as well. The tight end position we added Sloan Spiller, and Sloan is a guy that I knew a lot about, and could played at Katy High School in Katy, Texas, and went to UTEP and transferred to Pearl River. So he's been on our radar for a long time. We have previous relationship with him, so does Scott Stoker. So excited to get Sloan, and then Jaquarius Savage here from Neville is obviously a huge get for us. 6'6", 6'7", whatever. 325, 330 pounds to get a guy that can come here and be an offensive tackle for us right away is certainly big for us too. So anyway, we just looked at some areas that we thought that maybe we needed some help, as soon as we could get it. But I like the direction. We're going to sign a considerable number of defensive backs this year and stuff. So this is, I don't want exact numbers, but probably, half of it, maybe not quite half of it, what we expect to do in a defensive backfield, looking at high school guys after this. The tight end position, we lost Alec Osborne. We needed a tight end. We have young guys at the tight end position. We felt like this was an area that we could bring somebody in that is a little bit older and has been playing. If you look at our situation, Reagan Heddens is a redshirt sophomore next year. Kyle Nevels will be a true sophomore. And then we have 2 redshirt freshmen next year, and Tyler Lamb and Josh Peterson, and we love them. But we thought this was maybe an area we could bring somebody in that's a little bit older and have a little space there in between guys. And then, getting Jaquarius, we're excited about that. And, and continue to trying to address our offensive tackle position. I like what we've done, really. I think we've made a lot of progress. If you look back, really, whenever we got Eastwood Thomas to agree to come in July of last year, and then we added Trace Ellison, who actually Trace is on this signing class this year, so he'll be included in all the things, and he'll be eligible to play next year. And then adding Jaquarius too. So we think we've continued to address the offensive tackle position, what we need to do. So we're excited about these guys. There could be a possibility of maybe 1 or 2 more moving forward that we're recruiting, and maybe finishing up at their school, maybe finishing a class, and we need that stuff. So, but anyway, this is what we signed today, and like I said, it doesn't mean this is necessarily the end of what we're doing from a transfer standpoint. This is just what we have today and what we signed and what will be joining our team. So,
when you deal with junior college kids, is it ultimately trying to find the right fit in terms of them contributing immediately, and also something that may have held them back why they didn't sign Division I right out of high school?
Well, I really didn't ask them that, other than just evaluating what they're doing. We actually go back and talk to their high school coaches, and kind of get a feel of them as high school players and what kind of young men they were there too. I do that, but it's really for us about right now trying to build our program and build positions, and trying to address areas that we feel like we need some immediate guys to come in, and advantage these guys have. And what's different, I guess, too, this year as opposed to last year. I got this job actually yesterday, a year ago, which we're in a dead period, and junior college signing day was the next day. So we missed out on the So we went after some and got a few kids in the summer. But from here on, I mean, what we would like to do is what I'm doing now. We would like to really, and this year, we're really only taking kids that can get here in January. And because that's what we want. I mean, we want guys that can come in here and go through off season, go through spring ball. And we think that gets them more ready to make the immediate impact that we're expecting when we sign them. And so, anyway, hopefully, this trend will continue, and we'll be able to do that. And but the reality of it is that's what everybody's trying to do. I mean, everybody wants them in, and everybody wants guys that can get out in December and can immediately roll at your place in January. And we're no different. We're trying to do the same thing, but we're excited to get these guys. I think they're really good football players. They're going to fill a need. But the other thing that is so good about it is we'll get them in here and get started on, I think, January the 17th. Is that correct, Nick? The second semester. And, I mean, those guys will be in here and in the off season and everything that we're doing leading up to spring ball and all that. And so, which I think that just makes them that much more ready to play.
Yeah, going back to Savage, that was a guy that a lot of folks in not only the group of five, but he had 2 Power 5 programs interested in him as well. And that, like you said, it's a pretty big kid for you guys. But to see the kind of schools you beat out to get him, were you guys kind of sweating him out at all, or just what does that say about what y'all are able to do recruiting?
Oh, we've been sweating him out, and I give a lot of credit to Rob Sale, who has, we were able to. Aquarius came, I think, as early as last spring, and came up unofficially in the summer and visited, and we've had opportunity to visit with his parents, and so I give a lot of credit to Coach Sale. Getting him here, and I think Coach Sale's pedigree in terms of preparing offensive linemen, I think it has really helped. And then plus, the fact that I think he's really excited about coming home and playing home and playing at home and getting his friends and family to be able to see him play and stuff. I know had a lot to do with it as well and stuff. So, but it's a great get for us, and couldn't be more excited.
Just curious, this being a dead period, what does that consist of now for you guys? What do you do for the next month?
Make your one phone call a week and, talk on social media and what we're doing. Really, we started Monday, and we're going to continue doing it, but we're going back through every kid on our board and going back and double-checking, their kids that, now I think that's what's happening now is that, every kid has their senior stuff up. High school kids, whereas you make all your evaluations off of junior, and then you try to update your evaluations. You see them in the summer, you tweak it, plus or minus. You get some early games, and you're following, and you're trying to see. But we have time now during the season. You're recruiting, but I mean we have a lot of time now. So what we're doing is we're going back. Every position coach is, and then we're all going to go back through it together and re-rate every player. And all the players that are left on the board that we have coming in and maybe still have a chance go back because, kids can get better this senior year. I mean, they can get a little bigger and they can get, a little bit more experience and going back and watching them stuff. So that's kind of what I've always done. The suddenness of the whole deal is, when you finish playing, if you're not out recruiting the next day, you're behind. So you get out and you recruit. But now that this time, you have an opportunity, we do, just to sit down and go back and really, go back through and what I call reevaluate or, because we rate them, based off what we think in the spring. But like I said, your ratings are going off of their junior stuff. And then, you have an opportunity to go back and look at their senior stuff and maybe see if a kid that was a 2+, meaning, if he had this or this, then we would offer him, did he get this or this? Kid, and that's just kind of what we do and go back and we've done it the last couple of days and we're going to continue to do that. But right now is really that's the time what we're doing right now, and then going back and self-scouting everything we did on the football field this year.
You addressed this during the coaches show once in terms of this coaching staff, every coach having a different area inside the state, which is a little different considering what the previous coaching staff has done. What has that meant for you guys so far in terms of early success? I
think it's been great, and it certainly helped getting out in the spring and doing it. But I think getting ULM back, in every high school in the state of Louisiana, and I think we've been fortunate to most of us have been in Louisiana. We know most the coaches, but yet getting ULM back into every school, and was something that I looked at doing, and I think kind of really cemented my thoughts on doing it when I was told by Coach Pat Collins that was something they had done, that every coach was given an area and stuff. So anyway, it's just something I wanted to do, and we have 9 coaches that can recruit, and we split the state up by area code, and we have 3 coaches in 318, and we have 2 coaches in 337. We and split it up where everybody had anywhere from 28 to 37 schools, I think it was. And so what we did is the first week that we were able to get out in the spring, we went to every school in Louisiana, and then from there everybody has another area that they go to, and so I think it's something we continue to do. We've gotten good feedback from the high school coaches. I think they appreciate it in the state of Louisiana, that regardless of lots of times what you're doing is you're establishing relationships, and I did it when I recruited East Texas at McNeese. I mean, in 10 years, 7 years I recruited, there were some schools, there was only one kid I ever recruited in the 7 years, but I went every year, and you have a relationship with the coaches, the counselors, the whole deal. And sometimes it's hard to just buzz in, once every 5 years when they just so happen to play. It's about relationships, and you have to be able to get in there and do that and stuff. So anyway, that's what we're going to try to do here.
Typically, high school coaches tell you the truth?
Sure. Absolutely. It's a what I expect and what I always expect, because I would have done it. I did it as a high school coach, but I'm going to sell my kids. Oh, I can promise you that. If I'm a high school football coach and you come in there, I got the best kids, and I got them here, and I'm going to do best. But I always answered questions, and if a college coach asked me a direct question about a young man, then I was going to answer it. But as soon as you walked in the door, I was selling my guys, and so you expect that, and I expect that to go into schools and stuff. But we're fortunate to have enough relationships and stuff to be able to sit down with coaches, and they'll answer all the questions that you ask them. You have to know the questions to ask.
You were talking about this class, filled some immediate needs for you guys, and going forward as we get to National Signing Day, does these additions, does it affect your recruiting class for signing day at all, or is this something you've had in place for each of the guys? No,
we've had this in place, and we've kind of had on our recruiting board and stuff. I mean, in terms of we're taking X amount of players, we would like for this, this to be a transfer guy, this to be high school guys and stuff. So this is stuff that we pre-planned out, looking at positions. And like I said, the DB position, we expect us to sign 6 or 7 DBs, and we were thinking, that this is probably best if we can add 3 juniors, basically, which will be an eligibility, but yet. A guy like Jacarius coming in, I mean, he brings. But you look at Trace Ellison and Eastwood Thomas, they both have 3 years left eligibility. He'll have 2 years. We have 3 kids last year that we signed that we love. They'll have 4 years because we redshirted them. So now let's go get another 3 guys that have 5 years and continue to kind of build it. Is what I'm trying to do. And numbers. It's not an exact science, but it's just something I believe that the long-term stability and health of your program has to be. I mean, you have to have, kids spread out in classes and stuff. And I'm hoping that we improve on that this year. And I'm hoping by next year, you'll really get to see, because we didn't have many seniors this year. We don't have many next year. We only have 10 next year. And that's just something that it's just the way it was. We lost players. And the players have been lost through the years, attrition and stuff. So I think we had, 13 this year. And then Braxton sat out, we had, so let's say 11 or 12 that actually played on the field. This coming year, we only have 10. So, we always joked when we did the pregame meals, and I say joked, everybody always kind of looked, but seniors were first, and they get up to eat, and juniors are next, they get up to eat. All right, sophomores will boom, and then freshmen, bam, and here they come, because, if you take that number and look at it, we were dressing out 23 juniors and seniors on a 70-man travel squad, so, then 37, 40 to 37, trying to do my math there, 47, now that was all freshmen and sophomores. So we had a young football team, and, I still think we have a young program, so I think adding some, a few older kids here and there is going to help that out.
Looking at Spiller, much as you love tight ends and you like to incorporate those in the offense, what does he bring that maybe some of your other ones on the roster don't?
What I really like him a lot about him is you go back and look at all his high school tape, his hand was in the ground. And, Katie is a big-time two-back, I formation, traditional tight end, play action pass, releases, crossing routes, things like that, but really good blocker. When he went to Pearl River, he did a lot with his hand out of the ground. Did a lot of movement and did some stuff. So, with only taking one guy, I really wanted we wanted a guy that, could do both, that had the ability to put his hand in the ground or back off the ball and do some stuff. So, anyway, that's what we really liked him. And I said he was a guy that we recruited at McNeese. And, the one thing that's good is great tape to be able to go back and evaluate Katie tape and look at it because they use tight end. I mean, it's toss sweep, it's power in the run game, it's right behind him. There's a lot of play action passes where he runs crossing routes and corner routes and bootleg stuff and stuff. So it was really good tape, to be able to go back and see what he could do because they do such a good job using their tight ends. Good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.